Now entering Nerdist.com.
1 2 1 2 check, y'all. What's going down? It's me, your friend Dan. I don't know why I did that. Felt a little weird. What's up? Welcome to Today We Learned. Razzle is here. He's in the studio, but he's being quiet. He feels a little shy today. What? You don't... It's okay. I'll tell them. We got a great show for you guys today. Razzle, okay, where are you going? You're leaving? You're going to San Francisco right now? It's amazing. Guys, I don't even read sign language. Razzle doesn't even speak sign language. That's the kind of connection that we have. That's what happens when you host a podcast with someone. You develop a deep, almost spiritual, like telepathic connection. It's like I'm Jean Grey and he's Professor X. No, let's switch that around. I'm Professor X. He's Jean Grey. He's the Omega level mutant. I'm the friendly, elderly bald man who's trying to nurture. Anyway, the point is, we got a great show for you guys today. Clarke Wolfe, the awesome Clarke Wolfe, you may know her from the SleepyCast, the official Sleepy Hollow podcast. It's also on the Nerdist Network. She's been a guest on the show before. She's been a co-host on the show before. She thankfully stepped up to the plate, came into guest host, knocked it out of the park. But spoiler alert, I know, you might not have known what kind of job she was going to do. Turns out it was excellent. And we also have a very special guest today. He is in the brand new movie Focus alongside Margot Robbie and Will Smith. He is also been in everything from Louie, Gotham, American Hustle. He's been in so many things. I guarantee that you've seen him on your screen before, whether you realize it or not. So without further ado, let's get this puppy started. Today we learned number 78 with Adrian Martinez.
Today we learned. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
All right, hello and welcome to Today We Learned, another fun-filled edition. Hope you guys are having a good day. And if you're expecting to hear Razzle's dulcet tones today, think again. He's not here. Thinks he's too good for us? Guess what, Razzle? You're not. I know you're in San Francisco right now, hanging out with your mom, but I tell her we said hi. Hope she's doing well. But that doesn't matter. We have some very exciting guests here today. Filling in for Razzle is a good friend, past and future guest of the podcast, Clarke Wolfe. Clarke, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Casey.
Yeah, awesome. And we have a wonderful actor here today. He's in one of the stars of the new movie Focus. You've seen him in Gotham, American Hustle, Louie, so many other things. Adrian Martinez, thanks for being here.
I don't have any money.
Sorry. Well, this podcast is over. I was told there would be money. So, Adrian, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very excited about movie Focus. It's coming out this, when we're recording, it's coming out this Friday.
This Friday,
This podcast will be coming out the Monday after. So, for people who maybe missed it this weekend, what is your role in it? What can they expect from it?
Well, it's really all about con men, so it's kind of like Ocean's 11, but with this great love story between Margot Robbie and myself. Why does that get a laugh? And I play one of the con men in the group that goes all over the world ripping people off. But in my particular case, I play Farhad, who's this Persian guy that really is kind of like the spiritual brother of Will Smith. You know, like he's the guy that Will Smith's character counts on when, you know, the stuff hits the fan, there's like a problem. You know, I'm the guy he goes to. So when the Margot Robbie character pops up, you know, I don't really know what her motives are, so I just kind of throw a lot of obscene language at her to kind of rattle her and see, you know, where she's coming from. But yeah, it's a really good movie. You guys should check it out.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, so guys
Have you
listening at home,
seen it?
I have not seen it yet, no, but I'm hoping to.
In that case, I'm amazing.
Yes.
A girlfriend of mine actually has seen it, and she says it's a lot of fun. She really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we got a good review from Deadline today, which is nice.
Yeah. Told ya. Little industry insider stuff there. So excellent. So as I mentioned to you off mic, we like to start off the podcast with our guests giving either a fact about themselves people might not know, or something you learned recently. Yeah, anything you'd like to share?
I'm the only Dominican in show business. That means my mom's from the Dominican Republic and my dad's from Nicaragua.
Oh, wow.
And there's no other actor that I know of with that combo born in New York.
Is that the official term, or is that your
It's what I
portmanteau?
came up with what I had.
Well, it's definitely it rolls off the tongue very nicely.
Yeah, and I challenge any Dominican with a SAG card to step up. Born in New York, that's the key. That to step up and let me know that you exist, because right now I'm just going to claim exclusive rights to that.
Nice.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
You mentioned that you're playing a Persian character in Focus.
Yeah.
Do you find that you wind up getting cast as a wide variety of different races, stuff like that?
I mean, I wouldn't call it a wide variety, but anything kind of ethnic. I've played Jewish people, Italians, Hispanic, of course. I've played now a Persian. I mean, it's an actor's job, you know.
Yeah.
Like when nobody sweated it when Pacino played a Cuban drug dealer. You know? Yeah. So why can't I do it in reverse?
Exactly. So let's jump right into it. Are you a man who drinks coffee? Are you a coffee guy?
1 cup a day.
1 cup a day?
That's
Clarke?
discipline. Well, this
Yeah.
is actually
Well,
iced
it's a
coffee.
64-ounce cup.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. That's smart.
Yeah, nice little double gulp size. Got to pack in the caffeine.
So-
Even though my cup is branded to say Bacardi Zombie on it, which is a fun alcoholic beverage, it is not an actual alcoholic beverage in here. I'm a big iced coffee person.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm usually I trend towards iced coffee myself. I don't
But
know
would
why.
you drink iced coffee if you were in New York and it's 7 degrees?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, actually, I do. I drink iced coffee when it's cold.
It's weird. If I'm on the go, I always prefer iced coffee. I think it's because I can drink it faster,
Yes.
or it's just easier to drink.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Boston area, so I'm no stranger to grizzly cold temperatures. But even then, I would go to Dunkin' Donuts and just get a massive iced coffee. Well, the reason I bring up coffee is obviously there's. Are you a fan of expensive coffee, I should say, or are you fine with whatever is around?
I'm fine with whatever's around. Are you offering?
Yes, I've got the most expensive coffee right now. There's a coffee company called the Black Ivory Coffee Company, and they make a very unique kind of coffee. It is coffee that is made using elephants.
No.
Yes,
Get
Clarke.
out of here. Then I do
So-
not support this coffee,
Well,
and I hate
no,
this coffee.
Here's the thing.
What?
Using elephants what?
No elephants were harmed in the making of this coffee.
Impossible.
I promise.
Okay.
So their coffee is naturally refined in the intestinal tracts of rescued elephants in Thailand.
I'll take a check now.
Yes.
Yeah. At least they're rescued.
Yeah, so when they eat the beans, they eat the coffee beans,
Okay.
and their digestive tracts help break down the proteins that make coffee bitter. So it's a less bitter coffee, but also the fermentation that's going on in elephant stomachs helps impart, and I quote, flavors you wouldn't get in other coffee. Obviously.
I told myself eat before coming here.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, they harvest the beans from elephants' dung, as it were. And how much do you guys think that a cup of this would go for?
You're going to say something that's going to upset me.
Will I?
No, I think
How much would you pay, Clarke?
I would pay none for elephant shit coffee.
Okay. That's a very dark roast.
$9. Yeah, none for me.
I'm thinking they'll charge $16 a cup.
$50 a cup.
What?
And it's still less than, that's not even like the most expensive coffee. And there's another one that is made, it's called Kopi Luwak. And it's the world's most expensive coffee. It is made these little animals called luwaks, which are in Southeast Asia, the South Pacific. They eat the coffee bean, poop it out. And that goes, I've seen that in Los Angeles going for somewhere around $60 to $70 a cup at this place in Santa Monica.
Yeah, I'm just going to say no to the cacao mocha.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe just stick to Pete's or Starbucks or Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf.
Well, speaking of, Dan, today
What a messed up world.
Today it was announced that coffee is good for you again.
Oh, yeah?
Yes,
Thank God,
yes.
because I've filled my body with it on the daily.
Yes, so for all of us fans of coffee drinkers here, apparently Miriam E. Nelson, who is a professor at
Starbucks.
a professor at Starbucks University.
Doctor of Starbucksology.
She's a professor of nutrition at Tufts University. And
I went to Tufts.
Okay, so she's your she was going to Dunkin' Donuts.
Go Jumbos.
Yeah, right? But they did this new report, and basically her quote is, what we saw when we looked at all the evidence is that, in fact, 2, 3, 4, or 5 cups of coffee a day, 8-ounce coffees, there is a health benefit. It reduces your risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, liver, and endometrial cancer, and probably Parkinson's.
I can't tell you what a relief that is.
Yeah, but then you got to wear diapers on the 405 when you're stuck in traffic.
That's the choice you got to make. Do I want to be comfortable in my car now, or do I want to be riddled with disease later?
Exactly. Well, these are the facts, Stan.
Yes, and I would hope that a professor at my alma mater would not lie.
No, never.
Yeah, right.
And totally not on the Starbucks payroll.
Yeah.
Is that where you nap?
Yeah, that's my. There's a little dog bed in here, or as I call it, a Dan bed. Yeah, it's a nice micro suede fleece. Yeah, it's actually, I think that's Katie Levine's, one of our podcast network producers. She's got a big old pooch that sometimes chills with us. Yeah. I almost brought my dog, but I didn't.
I thought about bringing mine too.
And are you drinking that dog's caca for coffee?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it doesn't have the right enzymes.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But let's talk about something coffee related and edible that won't gross you out. Over in the UK, they've created something called the Scoffy, which is an edible coffee cup that they serve at some Seattle's best coffee locations. They're run through KFC over there.
Oh, man.
It's basically a cookie shell with white chocolate coating, and the outside's printed to look like a normal coffee cup. So what they did, it was designed to help reduce overall waste, and people were just throwing out coffee cups left and right. So food scientists at this organization called the Robin Collective made this edible coffee cup, and it's designed so they have a chocolate lining that melts as you sip the coffee, and that in turn softens the cookie so that way you can eat it when it's done.
I like their website, wemakediabetics.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we just learned that coffee reduces type 2 diabetes.
See? It's
Can
balancing
we all
it
just
out.
make a choice?
Yeah. You can either get a cup to go, or you can eat the whole thing. And they're, it's weird. This part weirds me out, though. They're infused with different ambient aromas, like coconut sun cream, freshly cut grass, and wildflowers.
Grass? Why do I want my coffee to smell
Why would you want to eat something that smells like grass? Apparently, a spokesperson said, these scents were used in our recipes as they have a natural ability to evoke positive memories we associate with warm weather, sunshine, and summer holidays. Things that make everyone smile.
Oh, so it's real grass, not weed.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not the fun kind.
I wouldn't think so in the UK. I feel like they're more into like weird club drugs than weed over there.
Yeah.
That's probably a good point.
I like this microphone, and I like how I sound on it. I want to sleep with myself now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you'll have this recording for always.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I like the idea of eating your coffee cup, though. It reminds me of in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when he drinks his tea and then eats the cup that he got out of.
Did you mean the good Willy Wonka
yes.
or the Johnny Depp one?
No, the good one.
Okay.
The good one.
Oh, man, that Johnny Depp one. What is going on with Johnny Depp nowadays? I feel like he's just become a pile of like bracelets and hats.
I like bracelets and hats.
Yeah.
I just don't want to spend $15 on them.
I don't want to. Exactly. That's the problem. The opportunity cost of seeing Johnny Depp for 2 hours is not what it once was.
But here's the thing. You know, he made his mark no matter what. He could just die today.
Of course.
And I'm not suggesting that.
No.
But I just feel like he's done a major contribution to film performance.
Oh, of course.
But it does bring up an interesting question about genius, because, you know, early Woody Allen, everybody loved it, and then he had that period where everything was terrible and disposable. Now he seems to be on a little upswing. And it's interesting, like how great do you have to stay, you know, before people say, you know, yeah, let's just cut him some slack? Because, I mean, it's hard to do anything, much less Edward Scissorhands and movie after
much less
movie
be great
after
at something
movie.
for such a long period of time. I think that is the issue. He's set a bar for himself that people have come to expect, and when he doesn't meet that, they hold him to a higher standard.
Yeah. I'm going to give him career advice because my salary is much bigger than his. So I'm going to just say he needs to get back to the Donnie Brasco.
Totally.
Of course.
Well, and also, by the way, he his cameo in 21 Jump Street was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
I didn't see it.
Okay, well, he has I don't want to spoil. I guess, well...
It's been out for a while.
I know, spoiler alert. But no, he's under some heavy prosthetics. And is undercover and reveals himself. But, it's like he's just as fun, just as funny, just as sharp as ever. My question is, how much money does a person need? Because when I look at these movies that he's doing, I just see paychecks.
Yeah, well, maybe not for Mordecai, but definitely they're making another Pirates of the Caribbean. But I feel like that's something where he was contractually obligated, probably like sign on for X amount of pictures.
Alice in Wonderland, though.
Disney's got to keep the lights on after all.
I don't know.
I think we all show up as actors with the determination to just do the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
No one sets out to do a crappy movie. And I'm sure when he read the script, he thought he could have fun with it and maybe travel to, Indonesia or wherever it is they film these things and have some fun with his family. There's so much that goes into a decision. Sure. For me, it comes down to one thing. They ask. That's it. I'm there.
That's a good decision-making skills.
You mentioned, part of the appeal I know sometimes is getting to travel to an exotic location. Where's the weirdest place you've ever traveled, or the coolest place you've ever traveled for a shoot?
Well, on Focus, it was Buenos Aires.
Very nice.
That's very cool.
I mean, that's a kind of such an exotic place. You think of going, someday I'll go to South America, but you don't really plan on it because it's an 11-hour flight from New York But then you get there, and it's really a cool city. I mean, when things close up in L.A. or New York, that's where they just start.
Exactly.
And every woman looks like Clarke, just completely astoundingly beautiful.
You are too kind.
And so hot, everywhere. And then you have, like, Patagonia and Iguazu Falls, which is like 10 times the size of Niagara Falls. It's a fascinating country. And they're broke, so if you go there now, I mean, you can get I think it's 10 or 12 pesos for the dollar.
Wow.
And you can, buy it.
Wow. Yeah, you can buy some of Argentina.
I'd like to buy a little slice here.
I recently went on a trip to Romania.
Oh, I'm so jealous you got to do this.
Teubesc.
Yeah. So how do you know do you know the language?
I used to date a Romanian lady.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, we were there on behalf of the Dracula movie that just came out, and it was actually very cool. They because the new Dracula movie sort of focuses on Vlad the Impaler, of course, the fictionalized, embellished version of Vlad. The real Dracula. But it was fascinating to learn how totally not based on him at all any of the Dracula mythology is.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned while I was there was actually that this character, this idea of the vampire, as we kind of know it, this creature that comes out at night, the bat, and the fangs and the blood and all of these things, totally absent from Romanian culture forever. And in fact, the more traditional vampire that we kind of know has origins in the Balkans or some.
It's like the word vampire is Serbian in origin.
Yes. And there were even some creatures similar to it in Egyptian mythology, but not in Romania at all, which I thought was so. I mean, because we all kind of, if you look a little deeper into the Bram Stoker Dracula story, you kind of figure out pretty quickly that it's not based in any sort of fact. But the part about vampires kind of being absent from the mythology of the country, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's weird how it's become so associated with it.
Yeah.
What did you think of Coppola's Dracula?
It's fantastic. It's great.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could watch that movie as a silent film, I would love a cut of that movie as a silent film.
Well, you can just put it on mute.
Because it's visually just stunning to play the score and then just read subtitles. I thought that would be that. I would like him to re-release it.
Yeah.
Or listen to this podcast while watching that movie.
Yeah.
That's right.
Here, Francis, if I can call you Francis, if you're listening, I will buy one bottle of your wine if you listen to one of our podcasts.
That's right.
Coppola's good, by the way.
I enjoy it. It's good.
Yeah,
It's got. I like the little the like nicer edition of it is called like the director's cut. Yeah. So all those other grapes, they're on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to Dracula for a second, the word Dracula itself is not just a term that Bram Stoker made up for his book. It was actually the preferred name for Vlad the Impaler, Vlad III. He preferred to be called that. His father was a member of a secret society called the Order of the Dragon. And he was so proud to be a member of this organization, he had his name changed to Dracul, which is Romanian for dragon. He also was involved in the Order as a child, prompted him to change his own name to Dracula, or Son of the Dragon. Although, reading this article, they're saying now it means something closer to Son of the Devil.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a pretty intense name if you just introduce yourself, hi, I'm Son of the Dragon.
Yeah. And he originally directed a movie called My Dinner is Andre.
Yeah. That's the sequel that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like that. I feel like they've been doing a lot of twists on classic horror movie tropes recently, so it's about time.
Yeah, and I'm ready to do them.
Yes.
We're all in.
Yeah.
Yes, Son of the Dragon, not to be confused with Enter the Dragon, the Cisco album.
Maybe I could do like a Latino Dracula, like Juancula. Like, he just goes around and just... I'm not going to say it. Get in trouble with it.
Well, it's about time. Well, here's a story about a guy who kept vampiric hours, meaning that he was up late into the night and sort of reclusive during the day. A man named Eric Simons. He was 19 years old when he did this. He was a 19-year-old entrepreneur. He couldn't really afford rent anywhere, so he wound up going to Palo Alto in California, and he was squatting, secretly living in AOL's campus there. He was living there for 2 months undetected. So he was using their Wi-Fi, eating free food.
And he kept crashing.
Gym. Yeah, exactly. He had one of those old CDs for 100 hours of free internet.
And then he'd go, you've got mail.
You've got caught. And everyone there just assumed he was just a young employee working late into the night until he finally got busted. But he lived there for... basically like the cost of $30 a month.
That's amazing.
And developed his own startup while he was living there. So
I just don't have the balls for something like that.
I would never be able... No.
I know when I'm somewhere that I'm not supposed to be, I look guilty.
Yes.
I can't get away with it. People are just like, just look confident. Just look like you're supposed to be there.
Nope.
Yeah. You look guilty now.
Yeah, I don't think I'm technically supposed to be recording in here. I think there's another podcast supposed to be in here right now. I'm also double parked.
And then it all came out.
Yeah. Ugh.
Well, I've got a fun fact about a man that we all know pretty well. The children's author responsible for The Cat in the Hat.
Oh,
and,
Jesus.
Yeah, so fun fact about our favorite poet.
He had no kids.
That actually, yes. And we've all been saying his name wrong.
Is it Souse?
It actually no. It's so Alexander Liang. So lying. I don't know. Maybe he's lying. So he's one of his fellow writers. He knew him. Wrote a short poem about the authentic pronunciation, which is, you're wrong as the deuce, and you shouldn't rejoice. If you're calling him Seuss, he pronounces it Soyce.
Soyce.
That's exactly how I've been pronouncing it.
Wow.
We knew this whole time.
Trendsetter.
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. It sounds like you're making fun of him when you say Seuss.
It sounds like a Jewish rabbi.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss, you're making me schwitz with these stories. What's the Lorax doing?
L'chaim.
Trees can't talk.
He speaks for the trees.
Oh, my goodness.
Indeed.
Wow.
We should note that 2/3 of the people at this table are Jewish.
Yes.
So nobody write letters.
It's all good. Been on Birthright.
Exactly. But yes, so that's my fun fact about the good doctor.
Wow.
I'm actually I'm co-writing a script called Gabacho about a self-loathing Latino who is at a conference in Arizona and gets deported to. He gets caught up in an INS raid. He gets deported to Mexico, and now he has to befriend all the people he hates to get back to Arizona.
Oh man!
And there's this running joke in the movie that he calls himself Martinez, and other people call him Martinez. But he wants to be like white. He wants to be like a complete sellout. So it's Martin Because, and then it was, Senor Martinez, how are you? Like, it's Martin. So that made me think of that.
That's like the modern day.
That's such a good idea for a movie.
It's a great idea. It's like a modern. It's like the pronunciation gag is like a Frankenstein.
Yes.
Frankenstein. That's Frankenstein.
It's a nice homage to that. Great movie.
What does gabacho translate to, or is it just a...
It's kind of Mexican slang for whitey, you know, for like clueless whitey or something like that.
So that's what they've been shouting at me. Shifting gears a little bit, I was woken up the other night because my smoke alarm was going off. Not because there was a fire in my house, thank goodness, but because the battery, every so often if you don't replace the batteries, your smoke alarm starts screaming at you. But I was wondering...
You sound like one of those Blade Runner droids. You know,
I'm not going to pass the Turing test. I'm a replicant. In full disclosure, please do not tell Deckard Cain where I am.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, what do you do? How do they deal with people who are hard of hearing, people who are deaf?
People who are what?
People who are hard of hearing, people who are deaf, people who miss verbal cues for laughter in social situations. But there's an answer. Researchers at Japan's Shiga University invented a smoke alarm that'll wake up the hard of hearing by emitting a super spicy wasabi mist into the air in the room. Yeah, it sounds unpleasant, but that's way better than burning to death.
That's true.
Or dying of smoke inhalation.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so it sends out this spicy mist, and in testing, it woke up 13 out of the 14 patients or test subjects within 2 minutes or less.
Wow.
And the one guy who didn't wake up needed the caca cappuccino.
Exactly. He's waiting for the sriracha
from the
mist.
Elephanto.
That's right.
It's a bit of an elitist.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like pepper spraying somebody.
It really is, but I got to give him props. It definitely worked.
Saving lives and burning people's eyeballs
Exactly.
out. But what if it malfunctioned?
The one time you accidentally have a candle on and you're like, oh god, I regret everything.
Not the wasabi spray in my eyes.
I shouldn't have been listening to my music so loudly.
My mom had a much simpler approach. She would just come in at 7:45 in the morning and just turn on the lights to my room. But the lights would be like a CVS, they were really bright lights.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even if you put a pillow over your face, you're squinting.
Like the halogen lamps of indoor lighting.
Yeah. So even now, when I go to a CVS, I get a little...
Oh, no,
yeah, you're
Mom, I'm sorry.
Go to bed. Well, I have just a completely random fact that I read on the internet, but it made me laugh. So it might not even be true, but it made me laugh out loud when I read it. So I just want to throw this in here, little curveball. If we're done with the wasabi spray.
We're done with wasabi spray.
I read this on What the F Facts, which is verified on Twitter, so it has to be true.
Can't lie on the internet.
Nope. It said a 14-year-old boy once broke into Queen Victoria's Buckingham Palace while disguised as a chimney sweep, then ran off with her underwear.
Yeah, but who hasn't done that?
Yeah.
That's true.
It's my dream vacation.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, just a chimney sweep. Pay him no mind.
And by the way, I'm also picturing Mary Poppins. And basically, to me, he's Bert. He's Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins.
Like a child posing as
exactly.
Van Dyke.
And so he's going, Mary Poppins.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. I would look too guilty. I would not be able to steal the underwear. I'd be surrounded by those guards with their giant, foofy hats.
And what did he do with the why did he steal underwear?
So he can clone her.
Oh, that's got to be it. With her.
That's what I would do.
Why does this remind me of Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No kidding.
Although, did you guys see her performance at the Oscars?
I did.
I saw it on YouTube. I was very happy for her.
I gotta say, I'm glad that she's just presenting herself as more of a straightforward performer right now, because she does have a very good voice, and I feel like a lot of people lost sight of that in like the heady days where she would wear meat dresses and
Yeah, and I like that at the end of the song, like of this classic, traditional, beautiful song, she raises her arms and there's like daggers on her
Gun
pits.
tattoos.
exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
She had a...
She's a princess with some edge.
That's right.
Oh, heroes are alive. It's like eat my ass on my arm.
I like to imagine the same tattoos on Julie Andrews in that movie.
See, that would have worked for me.
Yeah. Or if Julie Andrews had come out after with those tattoos.
That would be amazing. Amazing.
Well, speaking of the Academy Awards and like
Yes.
excellent actors, a little transition here.
Mm-hmm.
Bill
Didn't
Murray.
get nominated again.
I know.
Next, Focus is the one.
When will these snubs end?
That's the one.
Oh, man.
Got a little interesting Bill Murray factoid.
Yes.
Bill Murray always popping up one place or another. Last year, I remember he was in the news for he crashed someone's house party. He's always crashing a party.
Yes, that's true.
I saw a video of him dancing to Turn Down for What in someone's living room. But, who hasn't done that?
I feel like if Bill Murray is a Lyft driver, and then it's essentially just like, hey, you going to a party? Great. And then just parks the car.
Exactly.
And
just comes in.
I'm here,
charging
guys.
us for this?
Exactly.
I'll drive you home later. Don't worry. So in college, he dropped out of college after he was arrested for marijuana possession, and he was a pre-med student in college. And then, a couple years later, he decided, well, I'm not going to do pre-med anymore. I'm not doing college. So he went into acting, went into comedy, and the rest is history. But there's interesting circumstances around that arrest. It wasn't just like arrested for a joint. He was essentially like a drug dealer. So Bill Murray, it was September 21st, 1970. Bill Murray was trying to catch a flight to Denver. He went to Regis University in Colorado. He was a pre-med student there. He didn't make his flight back, and this was partially because he made a dumb joke to a passenger next to him. He was 20 years old at the time, and he was waiting to board the plane at Chicago O'Hare International. And he joked to a fellow passenger that his suitcases contained 2 bombs. It was a simpler time back when you could say that without fear of dozens of, armed men putting a black bag over your head and taking you off into the night. Unfortunately for him, a ticket agent overheard the comment and alerted the authorities. He didn't have 2 bombs in there. Rather, he had 5 bricks of marijuana, which weighed about 10 pounds total.
I always liked him.
Exactly. You knew you liked Bill Murray. He seems like a fun guy, and turns out he was. So at the time, that was about 5 bricks was about $20,000 worth, which would be about $117,000 worth today.
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently, though, even if he had not been running his mouth, he would have been caught red-handed because Chicago vice detectives were already waiting for him because they'd been tipped off that someone had a suitcase full of drugs and was trying to take it on a plane. So he was arrested, but he was put on probation for 5 years. He was not jailed for it. And
who are you gonna call? Pot busters.
Exactly. Drug busters.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So because of that arrest, he dropped out of college. 5 years later, he was cast on SNL. So
see, kids.
It turned out okay.
Travel with drugs in your suitcase.
It might just work out for you.
And you will also become America's
could become
comedy
Bill
sweetheart.
Murray. That's all it takes.
What if you just have a bag of weed?
Yeah. Oh, it depends.
Then you become Chevy. No. Then you become.
Then you just get a guest spot.
That's 2 paths diverge in Yellowwood.
Then you host the Nerdist podcast.
Yeah.
A friend of mine recently was on a plane, and she started sniffing around. She's like, I know that scent. What is that? She's like, oh my God, someone on this plane has weed. And then she puts her hand in her pocket and realizes that she'd just walked on the plane with a joint in her pocket.
Oh my gosh.
Walked right through TSA. No one knew.
Wow.
Well, at least it wasn't the pilot.
Yeah, exactly. Hope you guys don't mind as your captain speaking. Going to put on some righteous tunes. Coming up, a 20-minute fish solo.
We're going to settle in at 300 feet, and passengers are free to get up. I'm sorry, 30,000 feet.
Buckle your what's the word? What were they doing?
We're going to be watching.
Do we have any of those peanuts? I'd love a little bag of peanuts right now.
I was in Brooklyn one time. Bill Murray's son owns a bar and restaurant in Brooklyn. And I was sitting with my friend, and I was visiting, and there was this giant floor-length mirror kind of leaned up against this wall. Mm-hmm. And the mirror reflected the door to the restaurant. And it's during Snowmageddon a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's right at the end of the year. So I think it's the night before New Year's. So maybe December 30th or something like that. So it's dead. I mean, New York is basically shut down at this point. And especially in Brooklyn where nobody was shoveling. So anyway, it's late at night. I'm talking to my friend. I'm facing this mirror, which is reflecting the door. And he goes, actually, this is Bill Murray's son's bar. And on cue, Bill Murray walked in the door.
Oh my God.
I swear to the heavens. And as he's saying this to me, I'm facing the mirror, which is reflecting the door. And he goes, yeah, and Bill Murray's son owns this bar. And I was like, what?
Oh my God.
And he was there picking up takeout from the...
Oh my God.
And I was just like, what just happened?
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
But that's my Bill Murray in IRL story.
Wow.
That rocks.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was so
What's the name of the bar?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I honestly,
Bill Murray's son's
Bill
bar.
Murray's son's bar
place.
in Brooklyn. Yeah, you could just Google that.
Yeah.
And it'll pop up.
I am Googling it right
I have
now.
a funny
Actually,
Oscar story if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's really quick. I was dating an astrologist, not the Romanian, someone else.
Okay.
And she did my numerical chart. And, she was making a good living at it. And she said, Adrian, look at this. Within 10 years, you're going to have an Oscar, a Tony, and an Emmy. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I was at a party a few days later, and I told that to a friend of mine. And he said, yeah, those are going to be your kids. Oscar, where's Tony?
And take your sister Emmy with you.
Emmy, put down the Kaka coffee. True story.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Did you find it, Dan?
Yeah, I think so. It is River. Wait, no. What is it? Paper. Where is the name of this? Sorry, guys.
Do.
Where's my Mac
I
with
know.
fun facts?
River Styx.
You're the guest.
It's called
You
River
get-
Styx.
Sure.
Yeah.
That must be it.
Yeah, nice little mythological reference.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
It was good cocktails, I will say that.
Did you ever see his movie where he's FDR?
I did
not see that one.
He's really good in it.
Yeah?
He was the best. Him and Laura Linney were the best things.
That's what I heard about that one. That the performances were great.
Yeah, and I went to a SAG screening of it, and afterward he was there, and and I just shook his hand. I said, "Listen, just thank you for all these amazing roles and everything you've done, and it's just really inspiring." And he became like a nice old man, just like, "Oh, thank you very much. It's very kind of you."
I believe that.
Yeah, I've heard that he's
Very humble,
very humble, very kind of like soft spoken in like person. He's not
big teddy bear.
Yeah. Hyde Park on Hudson. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
There was another FDR movie that came out recently called FDR American Badass.
What?
Oh yeah, Jay-Z
Yeah.
plays him, right?
I don't know.
I wish.
I wish. That would have been amazing casting.
In my dreams.
But no, this one he has like a rocket launcher on his wheelchair. It's way
Oh,
What?
man.
Yeah.
Why did I not get to see this movie?
I don't know. I think after Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter did not
Gosh darn it.
Did Jerry
emancipate
Bruckheimer
people
do
of
that?
their money at the box office.
Disappointing. How disappointing, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
A couple FDR facts. He was born on January 30th, 1882, and he was actually nameless for the first 7 weeks after his birth.
They didn't know they were going to name him FDR yet?
Sammy. No, it can't be Sammy.
Yeah.
They were like, ADR. No. What is that?
That someday will be something about voiceover, whatever that is.
FDR. No, it's going to be a highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. JFK. No.
Yeah, that's not even our initials. You're being ridiculous right now. When he was a boy, his fifth cousin, Theodore Roosevelt, also our president, advised him, don't ever grow up to be president. But shows you how much he thought of his cousin's advice.
He was like, speak for yourself, jackass.
Well, that happened with Obama. Like his dad named him Hussein. You know, like this will definitely
this is
put the kibosh on any.
never going to backfire.
No
one,
way.
no one will think you're a secret Muslim now. According, this is amazing. Apparently, FDR was so busy as president that his wife Eleanor Roosevelt had to make appointments with her to see their father.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
He was so ahead of his.
at the same time.
We did. We were. That was a nice moment.
It mattered to me.
It mattered to me too. I felt good about it. But also, he was so ahead of his time. That's like such a that's such a modern thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, exactly. He's screening his calls essentially.
Exactly. Screening his kids.
I don't want to talk to my kids.
Call him back.
Yeah.
Hashtag leave me alone.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm not here. He was also afraid of the number 13. He suffered from something called triskaidekaphobia, the fear of the number 13. And he would invite his secretary to have dinner with him if the table would seat 13 people without her. Because he didn't want to... Yeah, and he would never leave for a trip on the 13th day of the month, just very superstitious about it.
What do you call fear of vagina?
It's
boyhood.
Yeah,
Right.
man being a man. No, it's dentura. No, that's the one with the teeth.
That's vagina dentata from the movie Teeth.
Yeah. Well, from mythology.
It's called urotophobia.
Yeah, that was my childhood.
Yeah.
I was so terrified of women and girls.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely be a terrifying prospect.
It still is.
Yeah. I know. I don't...
Like, do you date on Timber?
No, I'm not on Tinder, Grindr, any of the above.
That's
The
all about
OKCs.
hooking up.
Yeah.
Because remember that guy that was like, he looked like a model, and he's actually like
Yes.
assaulted women and everything.
With the mugshot that went
Yeah.
viral.
Oh, yeah.
The black guy with blue eyes.
He was gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous. Like,
Yes.
could you imagine him on Timber? He'd be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're totally hooking up with this guy. And then
Well,
you
it's
meet
just-
him. He's like, hey, get off of me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I regret swiping.
Yeah, swipe none.
Yeah, exactly.
No swiping. Yeah, fun fact, every time I see OKC, as in the basketball,
You think
abbreviation, I think OK Cupid.
Not Oklahoma City.
No.
Okay, Cupid.
OK Cupid is what I think
Yeah.
of. Well, you know who else was afraid of ladies when he was a child?
Go on.
Young Norman Bates, as
Oh.
we know from Psycho and Bates Motel, which I currently just finished on Netflix.
Is it worth watching? I haven't seen it.
I very much enjoy Bates Motel. It is fun acting, silly show. And Vera Farmiga, though.
She's
Wow,
wonderful.
she's lovely.
And she's so off the rails as Norma, and yet you're always on her side. How is that possible? She's too good.
I thought she was wasted in, what's the name of that movie? The Judge.
With Robert Downey
Duvall.
Jr.
Yeah.
and Duvall.
Not enough for her. I wanted more for her.
I didn't see the Judge.
I haven't seen it either, but what a lot of my colleagues were saying, it just felt like it had good ideas and had a solid cast. It just didn't deliver on the promise of the premise.
I wrote it.
Oh, well,
No, you didn't.
No, I
You
didn't.
fibber.
well,
But I mean, Norman Bates also did not write The Judge. However, a fun fact about Psycho that I found that I thought was interesting is that according to IMDb, Walt Disney refused to allow Alfred Hitchcock to film at Disneyland in the early 1960s because Hitchcock had made that, quote, disgusting movie, Psycho.
wow.
Which I find funny because Walt Disney had a lot of weird stuff about
Yeah,
it. I was like, let's not cast
interesting
stones
habits.
here. Indeed, Mr. Disney.
He's Walt Disney has won, I think, about 1% of every Oscar ever awarded.
I believe
Interesting
that.
fact.
I
He's
believe
got
that.
50 or something?
He's too many. He
just won last year, right?
Yeah. for he directed Frozen because he's currently Frozen.
Exactly.
Now, Frozen was good.
Yeah, they're going to thaw him out. Frozen's going to Broadway. They're bringing that to Broadway. It makes sense. The people who wrote the music for it are both acclaimed Broadway writers. I think the gentleman's name is escaping me. I want to say Robert. I can't remember his name, but he has won an EGOT. He's won Emmy, Grammy,
Lopez.
Oscar, and Tony. Yes. Is it Roberto Lopez?
Which is hard to do.
He wrote Frozen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he and his wife wrote the music for Frozen, and they're going to write the book for the new musical.
And Robert
Lopez, yeah.
Fun fact, her grandfather was Hans Christian Andersen.
His wife?
Yeah.
Really?
On whom Frozen's based on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, really? She's related to Hans Christian Andersen?
Christian Andersen Lopez.
Wow, fascinating. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, more fun facts on Disney. There's a live-action Cinderella movie coming out that was directed by Kenneth Branagh.
I'm up for that.
Were you? For Cinderella? You were going to play Cinderella?
Cinderella.
Oh, I can't believe
because if you just limit yourself to one gender, I mean, think of it.
Exactly.
It's true.
I thought Kenneth Branagh was being progressive.
Indeed. But apparently he was not the first choice to direct the movie. Mark Romanek was. Now, and that didn't work out because of creative differences, but the reason I bring it up is because he also directed the movie 1 Hour Photo, which is about stalking. The very, very dark thriller starring the late Robin Williams.
You know, there's a lot of similarities in the story.
I mean, sure. When I think of fun Disney romps, I think of Psycho Robin Williams.
I found this glass slipper. Now I'm going to find you.
Yeah, totally. Did you guys ever see The Fisher King?
Yes.
I still have not seen that.
It is it's a very, very good movie.
I need to. It's on my list.
It's a really good movie. But I mean, I would save it for like a big screen. Like maybe they'll have a...
yeah, that's definitely a movie that it'll be on the Egyptian or at the New Bev or at the Arclight.
I would wait
at
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's certain movies like that where it's just... It's so good when you get to see it in like 35 millimeter, or you get to see it on a huge screen. I remember that's how I first saw Lawrence of Arabia and The Shining. I saw The Shining like a couple years ago for the first time. It took me forever, but I went and saw it at LACMA, and it was so amazing to see it on the big screen like that in film.
Yeah.
Highly recommended.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Kubrick exhibit?
I did.
How was it?
It was very cool.
Damn it.
It was cool because he took so many, he was a meticulous note taker.
Yeah.
So just everything was on the page, from development to ideas to, and just so many things that, speaking of 1%, I'm sure 1% of his ideas actually made it to the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
And then everything else was just left over in record. It was actually fascinating. And I'm not even the biggest Kubrick fan.
Well, the correct answer was it sucked and you missed nothing.
Yeah.
I take that back. You sucked, and you missed. It sucked.
You sucked?
No.
Rude.
That's not what I meant to say.
I heard about how you treat guests.
Yeah.
No,
It's
never.
one of those gotcha podcasts.
Yeah, indeed. Never.
And how do you explain this?
I don't care what people say. You guys are nice.
Oh, thank you. Don't believe everything that you've heard,
on
read,
Tumblr.
Been warned about. Yeah, don't read what people told you on Twitter.
But who's the guy in the corner with his pants off?
Oh, that's just Aristotle. It's, it gets a little stuffy in here.
Yeah, all right, whatever.
Well, one thing that people always bring up about Kubrick is he's rumored to have faked the moon landing. People accuse him of having filmed the 1969 Apollo 11 moon landing. They think it was a hoax. They think that he, because of the work he did on 2001, and because he had connections to NASA, Frederick Ordway and Harry Lang, aerospace contractors who worked for the Apollo program, also worked on 2001 as science consultants. So the conspiracy theory goes that Kubrick filmed it on a New Mexico soundstage. But, come on.
Well, it's been a while. Don't you think we'd know the truth?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that'd be a lot. That'd be a huge lie to perpetuate in so many people. Why would you keep funding a government organization?
Yeah. I'm not buying it.
No, I don't buy it either.
No.
Yeah.
I think maybe they had that as backup in case something went horrifically wrong. They're like, oh, we were straight up killed by aliens and we have proof.
Also, why? I mean, I know you just explained why Stanley Kubrick, but let's get real. Really?
Yeah.
If they were wouldn't they pick like an American hero, somebody like
Disney?
Sure, like Walt Disney.
Yeah, well, the reason that they think Kubrick did it is because it was the same technique. The photos of the Neil Armstrong mission it looked like there was the same technique, use of front screen projectors, which is a technique Kubrick used to create backdrops in Dr. Strangelove during the B-52 bomber sequence and the opening of 2001. And other people say that he dropped hints in The Shining that he was behind the Apollo 11 footage because there's Tang, the room number selection, 237, the distance between the Earth and the Moon is 237,000 miles, and one of Danny's sweaters, little red rum kid, has a knitted Apollo 11 emblem.
Well, this is why doctors say get out and walk 20 minutes.
Exactly.
There's some fresh air, guys.
Yeah, there's a fascinating documentary about it by Rodney Asher called Room 237. Which,
I saw that.
Yeah, it examines pretty much every conspiracy theory people have about this movie. It's staggering.
It is staggering.
How much people put onto this movie, where it wasn't something like if you watch it backwards on top of it forwards.
Yes. Which is fascinating. They actually do that. There's a new horror film festival called the Stanley Film Festival, and it takes place at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. And they actually, when you turn on the TV, The Shining is playing forwards and backwards, meshed on top of each other at all times, 24 hours on a loop. It's fascinating. I would love to see that.
Which director today do you think has a shot at being, a real visionary like Kubrick was?
My answer is always Guillermo del Toro. I find
Pan's Labyrinth is a classic.
It's a new classic. It absolutely is. He's to me, he is my most the most intriguing auteur, or one of the most intriguing auteurs.
Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of speaking to him a couple times, and he is such a you can get, just from talking to him, you get a sense he has such a vast imagination and such a specific vision as well. And the fact he's able to unite all these things in such a wide array of interests, that he can make a movie like a beautiful fairy tale like Pan's Labyrinth, but also make a giant, raucous, fun, adventure film like Pacific Rim with just robots fighting giant monsters. He's very inspirational, and the fact that he is so involved and invested in how the effects are made,
absolutely,
and very invested in how the visuals of these worlds come together.
Right.
Did you talk to him here?
No, not here.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly. Disqualified.
He sat in that chair.
Yeah.
You're in the
It's
Del
gotta
Toro.
be this chair, man.
Guillermo, if you're listening, you have an open invitation.
And Razzle, if you're listening, you will not be on.
You are not invited.
That's
Your mom needs you in San Francisco that weekend.
Exactly, and I am available to take your spot.
I feel like for a while it seemed like Christopher Nolan was going along that path as well. But he has, I don't know, I've just been, there's a certain pretension there that just makes me want to recoil a little bit. I think maybe P.T. Anderson, I'm just thinking about filmmakers that have very specific autorial visions and who are able to execute that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I will say I didn't care for the story of Interstellar, but I can't deny it was an amazing piece of filmmaking. And
the visionary, it just looks great.
Yeah, the science behind it is actually pretty sound, too. He consulted with Dr. Kip Thorne, who is one of the preeminent experts on black holes. And the science, visual representations are actually so accurate to what it might be like that a scientific paper has just been written based on those visuals, citing them as this is the closest we've ever come to depicting what a black hole like that would be like.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson gave it kind of his thumbs up.
Yeah.
Whereas he gave Gravity his thumbs down.
Oh, yeah. Seeing him debunk the stuff on Twitter is so funny.
He was like, Interstellar basically got it.
Yeah,
which is
stay away from bookcases.
Yeah. Stay away from books, kids.
I still think my mom's behind the wall every time I walk in.
But I live in a very, my apartment walls are pretty paper
Pretty thin.
Yeah.
I give my left nut to work with Christopher Nolan. Can you say left?
Yes.
Okay.
We should check on that.
Yeah, well, it's okay. We'll fix it in post. Can you bleep that out, Aristotle? It'd be super great. Well, on that note, we're coming up to the end of our time.
Left nut
seems like good.
Oh, wait.
Left nut. Oh, okay.
Let me.
You got one more?
This is perfect.
One more for the road?
Yes.
Speaking of left nuts.
Yes, I am. Speaking of left nuts, it is illegal in Italy to insult a man saying he has no balls.
Really? It's illegal?
It's illegal.
That's incredible.
Thank you, WTF Facts on Twitter.
Yeah.
Escusa, you have absolutely no left feet.
Exactly.
Okay, call off the points.
I guess I can't.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe I got to use that.
That's
fact
amazing.
in
I'm glad
context.
we can unintentionally
That's
set
awesome,
that up.
Clark.
Up top.
Another. I remember reading this years ago. Another dumb law. It used to be illegal to slurp soup in New Jersey. Yeah.
Because New Jersey's known for its manners.
That pinnacle of etiquette,
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
The finishing school of these great United States.
I'm sure Chris Christie has never slurped a soup.
No, or finished a bridge. Well, on that note, Chris Christie, if you're listening, you're welcome to come on the podcast.
Anytime.
But no, more importantly, Adrian, thank you for joining us today. We had a blast.
Thank you very much.
so
This
fun.
hour flew by.
Yeah.
It really did.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. Better than I thought this would never end. Every minute was an unceasing hell.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So obviously you have Focus in theaters now. Go see it. Are there any other projects you'd like to promote? Anything coming up you're excited for?
Well, I just did Inside Amy Schumer. We did a...
so good.
This is going to... You got to watch this. This is going to be good. It's a spoof of 12 Angry Men. And instead of it being like a murder case, it's to decide whether or not Amy Schumer is hot enough for TV.
Oh, my God.
And it's her response to critics saying that she's not attractive enough to do movies with Judd Apatow and all this. And she just played it brilliantly. Because now when the movie comes out, if they go there, she's already mocked herself.
That's great.
So it's really good. And we got Paul Giamatti, Jeff Goldblum, John Hawkes. Killer cast. And
That's
it's
phenomenal.
so funny. And there's one twist in the case that comes up that it's pee in your pants funny.
That's
it really
amazing.
She is so funny, and I'm very excited to see that. That's incredible.
I want her so bad. I just love her.
Yeah,
I just love her.
I got to do a set visit for her film Trainwreck, and we just watched one scene all afternoon, but they did so many variations, so much excellent improv. I was just laughing my ass off all day. So
Yeah. No,
I'm
she's
excited.
special.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so Inside Amy Schumer, Focus. Anything else you'd like to promote? Where can people find you online?
Oh, well, my Twitter is Taste of Adrian. Whatever. And you can also find me on Facebook. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
So look him up. Get a taste. Clarke, thank you so much for filling in today. I really
Thank you,
appreciate
Mr.
it.
Casey.
Obviously, people can hear your fantastic SleepyCast, the official Sleepy Hollow podcast, right here on Nerdist.com.
Indeed.
Or on iTunes if you came through a different route.
That's right.
But what else do you got going on? What do you? Anything you want to plug?
Oh, man. Well, just the SleepyCast right now. I'm super excited about it. By the time this episode goes up, our finale, our season finale will be airing the following day.
Awesome.
So our last episode of SleepyCast, but you can catch up if you are a Sleepy Hollow fan. You can catch up anytime on Nerdist.com and iTunes. And I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, you should be. It's an excellent podcast, and it's made me want to watch the show more. I've seen the first couple episodes, and it's surprising how much mythology they packed into there. But it's also got a good sense of humor,
So
which I
fun.
appreciate.
Lots of behind the scenes with every major cast member, with the exception of Tom Misen. We never got him. He's a little busy, though.
Yeah.
And
Classic
all the
Tom.
writers and producers, and it's been great.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say,
I'm not busy.
you didn't come on my SleepyCast
Yeah.
either. You were the busiest.
You were too busy
I
for the
will
SleepyCast
totally
as well.
do it.
Oh, good. Then I'll find you.
Totally do
Taste
it.
of Adrian. Yes, and I would love to talk to anybody listening on Facebook or Twitter
Yes,
or Instagram.
and you were at Clarke Wolfe. Both have an E.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
Excellent. And you can find me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram as well. I am at osteoferocious, like the crippling bone disease, but slightly meaner. And I, hold on, a plug. Listen to back episodes of Today We Learned. There's several where Razzle does not appear. Listen to those specifically. Just vote with your clicks. Sorry, Razzle, if you've listened this far. I have a book coming out this May. I wrote a book called 100 Things Avengers Fans Need to Know and Do Before They Die. It's coming out right in time for Avengers Age of Ultron. Buy a copy. You can pre-order on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And you can read it in line while you're waiting for the midnight screening. Impress your friends with some fun factoids. You can also catch my weekly show on Nerdist.com, The Dan Cave. This most recent episode, by the time you hear this, will be about the best movie extras in cinema history, because every year they're the people who get snubbed at the Oscars. The people in the background, those gray, blue blurs,
That's
people
right.
pretending to eat. I gave them their due. And yeah, if you want to find the podcast online, you can do that. We are at TWL Podcast on Twitter. You can send us an email, todayWeLearnedPodcast@gmail.com, and you can find us on Facebook, Today We Learned with Razzle and Dan. And yeah, that's about it. Once again, thank you for all your kind words on iTunes, the website, Twitter, Grindr, Tinder, Yelp, and Skywriting. We really appreciate it. And thank you again, Clarke and Adrian. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Dan.
Excellent. And as always, if you see something, don't tell me.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.